Hello, everybody. Except nobody's tuned in yet because nobody knew I was going to be here. This was impromptu, but it's going to start sharing to all my pages, and maybe some people will tune in. But if you're watching the recorded version, I need to say something, or else you're going to tune off before we get to where people are in and we start having fun. How do I get this light? Oh, I got it. I'm going to move this over here. Hope everybody's doing good. Some people will start joining in. By the way, how do I can't see a thing. Jane, it says share your referral link over the text, and I can't, I won't be able to see any of the comments if that's there. So we're going to try to solve something that I meant to solve before. Okay. All right. You don't have to look. So anyways, if you're hanging out here, don't go away. See how it says share the referral link? I can't see comments because there's something that pops up over it. Let's see. Hold on a minute. We're trying to figure that. Don't anybody leave.
It's at least out of the way.
Is that no? If it's out of the way, it's fine. There's a thing on my screen that blocks it so I can't see comments, and that's the fun with listening to you guys chatting with everybody. But hey, I'll tell you what. If anybody, please, somebody post a comment, and so I can see if it pops up and if I can read it. If it does, I'm good to go. It doesn't need to, I don't need it any bigger than that. As long as I can see the comments, we're good. In fact, right now I'm really small on the screen, but then you can't see my wrinkles, which is.
Well, you can't.
I would call that. Hello, Billy. I would call that a positive if you can't see. Hello, Chris. Okay. Yeah, no, this is great. That works. All right. So apparently it's working. I hope everybody's doing good. I am not here for any particular reason. I'm not trying to sell you anything. Well, that's just not entirely true. I'm always trying to sell something, but that's not my purpose for being here. I just wanted to check in with everybody. I just finished the Virginia State Frisbee Championships. I posted a 36 video series on my Facebook page. Hey, what's up, Jeff? And was just going to give a recap of that, but also just chat with everybody. I'm going to start doing this every single week. I'm thinking Wednesday nights where I just log in and say hi to everybody because I have way too many friends around the world that I never get to see or only get to see once a year. So if anybody has any questions about anything related to disc golf or the Pro Tour or disc golf advice or career, relationships, anything, it doesn't matter what it is, just shoot them over and we'll start chatting about stuff. So I'll be looking at the comments. You're not required to participate, but the more you do, the more fun we have. We'll see if anybody still likes me. When I was actually on the Pro Tour and I did these, we got a ton of people who tune in for them, but now I'm off the tour. Now let's see if everybody thinks I'm just too washed up to log in. We'll see. People are still jumping in the room, but feel free to post anything, any questions, any comments, and I will. You can even be mean to me, and I'll be mean back. Right? Can't hurt my feelings. I'm a grown man. I don't get triggered. I don't think so. I think I've been triggered before. Maybe when I was a kid. Billy says, "Was that my first year competing in Virginia State?" It was not. It was my second. But it's actually weird that it's my second only because I am a Frisbee player. I played overall Frisbee my whole peak of my career. I had to mix golf with all the other events like DDC and the overalls. And I competed and I probably have 60 state titles, 70 state titles in different Frisbee sports and tons of world and national titles. But as I've been focusing on golf, Virginia State's kind of got in the way of that. And then during the 3 years on the Pro Tour, there were Pro Tour events happening. And that was the focus. But now that I'm not on the Pro Tour this year, because I didn't get my card, apparently they don't give out charity cards. No, I was sick last year, so I had no opportunity to earn enough points to get my card this year. But then I went. But I would like to go every year from here on out because this is the last remnants of the overall. Like there's a whole bunch of people there that competed at the Rose Bowl in 1977, 78. Jeff says he wants to run tournaments for me here in Virginia. Message me. Just message me on social media. Let's talk about it, because it just so happens I want you to run tournaments in Virginia. Jonathan says, congrats on the win. Yeah, I did. I won disc golf. So I got the Virginia State disc. I am the Virginia State MPO disc golf champion. Even though I'm an old man, I still played pretty well. I played well one round, and I kind of played not so great the second round, but I played well enough the first round. I had a 3 or 4 stroke lead over second after one round, so played really good. Chris Lockwood says, oops, you know what? Now I got to how do I make this screen bigger now? To stage. Oh, there we go. Never mind. I'm on. If you can't see me, let me know. Okay, Chris says, I just got into the sport. Don't understand how the stable and understable work when throwing hyzers or anhyzers. Okay, so basically, stable and understable does not matter whether you're throwing a hyzer or an anhyzer, because stable and understable just refers to what the disc is going to do in flight relative to the angle you released it at. So if I was right-handed, well, I am right-handed, but if you're right-handed throwing a backhand and the disc at early in its flight, if I throw it flat, but early in the flight it turns to the right, that's understable. If it turns to the left, it's overstable because I threw it flat. But if I threw a hyzer, like let's say a 45-degree hyzer angle, well, if it's understable, it might turn to the right relative to that 45 degrees, and it might go from 45 degrees to 30 degrees. So it's still a hyzer angle. It doesn't matter that it was a hyzer angle. It's still a hyzer angle, but it's not as steep of a hyzer angle. Whereas if it went from 45 degrees to, let's say, 60 degrees, that's overstable. So they're two independent things. Hyzer and anhyzer are the angle of the disc when you release it or during its flight. And understable and stable are what the disc does, how it reacts during its flight. I hope that helps. If it doesn't, let me know if I made it more confusing, and I'm happy to explain again. So just let me know if that works. Hello, Donna. She says, hey, Scott. Jonathan says, by the way, let me know if we are confirmed for dinner Sunday evening. I think we are, right? In Baltimore? I think so. I'll message you back on Facebook and let you know. I think that's the plan, though. I think we're planning on that, but I'll have to get back to you in Les Social. All right. Oops. Wait. Hold on. Hide. This screen is so small. One frog ass one says, "Come on, give Scott a thumbs up." I'll give you all a thumbs up back. Jeff Thatcher says, I'll come see you in Pennsylvania or Maryland. Oh, hey, so there's the announcement. I am trying to sell something. That's not the main reason I'm here, but I just announced 20 full-day seminars, disc golf seminars, the Stokely Method seminars I do, the full-day classes, every Saturday and every Sunday for the next 10 weeks, starting this weekend, everywhere from Washington, D.C., all the way out to Omaha, as far south as Cincinnati, as far north as Minneapolis and Green Bay. So pretty much the upper right quarter of the country minus New England. I'm going to be doing seminars all over. So if you go to scottstokely.net, you can read about the full day seminars. They cap at 6 players. That's really important. So if you're interested, you definitely want to sign up because they always sell out. They're always going to be sold out. So go to scottsoakley.net, or you can just message me if you have questions. Jonathan says, he done messed up. I'm doing my best. Henry says, thanks for having my girlfriend out there running to get your distance shots in Virginia States. Let's see. Hold on a minute. I can't see any. I'm going to have to figure out. It was a funny memory. Yeah, I know. So the way when you run, so an overall tournament like Virginia State's has multi events. So I'll kind of give you all just some quick background. Back in the early days, you didn't specialize in different disc sports. You played a sport called Frisbee, which basically could be called flying disc sports. But since Wham-O had the trademark for the word Frisbee and they made the most popular discs, we called all flying, most flying discs just referred to as Frisbee. But anyways, you played Frisbee tournaments, which meant you played a whole bunch of different disciplines, kind of like a decathlon, right? So when you went to a Frisbee tournament, you might play Frisbee golf, you might throw distance, you might throw maximum time aloft, you might throw accuracy, you might throw guts, you might do freestyle, you might do discathon, you might do double discord. But you did multiple events. After a while, by the late 70s, early 80s especially, people really started to realize they liked certain events more than others. For example, some of those events involved a lot of running, and not everybody likes to run. Not everybody's in the shape to run. So they would gravitate maybe towards disc golf because they loved throwing a disc, but they didn't want to chase it down. Then you have people that did love to run and like team sports. They got into ultimate. And then you had the extreme athletes who like playing guts. And, you had the artists who were out there learning to do tricks and music and create throws and create art with the Frisbee. So anyways, they started to specialize. And so that's why the sport kind of branched off. And it's like half the people at that tournament have gray hair because they've been playing for 50 years back at a time when you had to play all the events. Now, if you're a younger player, most younger players only play their event. So during the distance portion of the event, when you are throwing, you have somebody out there that's marking your shots. And so the woman who was marking my shots during the prelims, I might have sprayed my shots all over the place, and I made her work really hard to try to chase them down. So, and then I threw one when she wasn't looking. That was my fault. I hadn't thrown distance in a few years, so I forgot to wait for her to be watching. Kind of fun. When am I coming to Charleston? I will come to Charleston, but I don't know when.
Which Charleston?
Well, yeah, which Charleston? South Carolina? West Virginia? Those are the two Charlestons, right?
Well, you're not going to either.
I'm not going to either anytime soon, though.
But Tyler is.
Yeah, but I think Tyler Wozniak, one of my coaches, is also coming. So I don't know. Howling Wolf says, how are you today? I'm doing lovely. How are you doing? Howling Wolf is a great disc store in North Carolina. All right, Shelby Sprout says, sorry, I sucked at spotting for round one at distance. If you didn't suck at spotting, you were amazing. I just threw 5 shots that were nowhere near each other, and then I threw one of them when your back was turned. That's not your fault. Rookie move on my part. You think I would know better after 50 years of playing Frisbee. Jason says, how about Colorado? So, yeah, I don't know if I'm doing Colorado. Well, I will do Colorado at some point, for sure. I did Colorado, I think, last year, but I only have so many weekends. So check this out, you guys. This is wild. So the oldest sport in Frisbee is called guts. And if you haven't seen guts, it's a wild game. But basically, 2 teams, typically of five players each, stand 14 meters, which is 45 feet apart from each other. So 3/4 of the distance of the pitching mound to home plate in baseball. And they take turns throwing Frisbees back and forth at each other basically as hard as they can. So they are throwing Frisbees in the ballpark as fast as a professional baseball player can throw, except they're 15 feet closer. And Frisbees move way more in the air than a ball does. I mean, a baseball, a curveball might move a little bit. A Frisbee moves way more. So it's coming up to 90 miles an hour from 45 feet away, tons of movement. And the goal is to try to catch it when it comes to your team or to knock it up in the air. But you're not trying to get out of the way of it. you are basically leaning into it. If you could take one to the body, you're going to take one. Anyways, that's the oldest Frisbee game. The oldest Frisbee tournament in the world is called the IFT. It's the International Frisbee Tournament. It started in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan in the late 1950s. There was a group of kids whose last name is Healy, so we call them the Healy brothers. They're the ones who invented the game of guts. And on their birthday, they played guts. And then they came back the following year and they played again. They came back the following year and played again. Every year they played. Eventually, the game of guts caught on. They changed the name to the International Frisbee Tournament, and it is the longest running Frisbee tournament in the sport. And it can't really be beat since it was the first Frisbee tournament in the sport. That was the IFT. Anyways, they still play guts at the IFT every year at a really high level. A legendary team called the Boomtown Saints asked me to play with them on their guts team, which is we're going to be going. I'll be competing at the IFT in about 12 weeks, which is I've never been. It's going to be the freaking bomb because it's like the oldest Frisbee tournament in the sport. I never went because it's in the middle of the golf season. It's usually on July 4th weekend, and you know it's possible when someone throws a Frisbee at me that I'm going to break a finger. Like that's just one of those things that can happen when you play guts at that level. I don't have a golf tournament the following weekend, right? So I can do it. So I'm going to go play at the IFT. I want to play guts, and people are going to throw Frisbees at my head 90 miles an hour from 45 feet away, and I'm going to try to catch them. Don't worry, I'll put tons of video on there. I'll tell you one thing: if I do break a finger playing guts, it'll be great content. Here's a good question for you. Would that make more people play or less? Because you would think if someone got hurt, like if I got hurt, less people would play, but the fact that I got hurt would also make it kind of dangerous. It would kind of make it, I think, more exciting for people. I don't know. I don't know if it would make less people play or more. Hopefully no one gets hurt. That's the goal, isn't to hurt anybody, but throwing Frisbees at each other at top speed, you know, things can happen. Plans for a trip to Canada? No plans, but I'm going to. Is that Peter? Oh my God, Peter Luna's here. Do I remember us? Do I remember you, Peter? I love you, Peter Luna. You're one of my favorite people in the whole world. Peter Luna is one of the Scott Stokely super fans. He is part of a disc golf club called the Down Syndrome Disc Buddies of Finger Lakes, New York. And it is an entire club, a disc golf club of kids. I say kids, they're young men with Down syndrome who all play disc golf together. They do more than just that. They play in a band and they do all sorts of cool stuff. Peter's a weightlifter. Yes, Peter, I'm following your weightlifting career. But I've gone up there and met with them and golfed with them a couple times, and I will, next time I'm in New York, I'll see them again. We also have a big announcement. Me and Peter Luna have a big announcement for the world because we're working on a project. We're only a couple weeks away, but it's still top secret, Peter, so don't tell anybody. Of course I remember Peter Luna. Are you kidding? Peter's the best. Turkey Leg TV. Want to see Scott in Charleston, not Waz. He may be great, but he's not you. I appreciate that. I'm not going to be able to make it because my schedule's got me going north and west. Waz is awesome though. I could not endorse him anymore. Like he does an incredible job and he's a great teacher. And I would love to come to Charleston at some point, but I think Waz signed up for that one that weekend and he's going to do a great job. So I'm a big fan of Waz. Tyler's he's a great kid, but he does a good job teaching too. Henry Diskin Dingus Yukin says laughing face. I don't know what part he's laughing at though. South Carolina. Okay, yeah, that's definitely Waz. Okay, David Garb says, how does the judging for freestyle work? So there's two different ways of judging. The most common way, and it's had different variations over the years, but basically you have 3 different categories of judging and 3 judges per category. You have one that does difficulty, which is judges how difficult your moves are. The second is execution, which is how many drops do you have? How many times the disc hits the ground, or do you bobble it, or you just catch it in front of you without doing a move because you're just trying to save it? And those two go together because the higher the difficulty, you gain points. So when you lose points with the drops, they don't penalize you as much because you were also trying to do harder moves. So if you just do easy moves and get a lot of drops, that's really bad. But if you're doing really hard moves and have some drops, that's understandable because you're trying for hard things. And then the third one is artistic. Basically, it's called presentation, but it's the artistic presentation. It's to the music, it's your style, it's your co-ops, it's working as a team, it's your flow. That's how they typically judge. And over the years, there's been tweaks to it, but that's the general idea. At Virginia State, it's a little bit different. They allow the crowd to judge because this is more just a friendly tournament of love. So all the crowd gets on an app and they just rank the teams in the pool, and everybody votes. And after they vote, there's just a ranking of who did better than who, and they just leave it up to the judges to say, who do you think did better? So it's kind of a different it's a different atmosphere, it's a different vibe, but the people watching, they're still going to reward harder stuff, and they're still going to notice if you're dropping a lot. So they're still going to pay attention to those things. It's just not as analytical. Oops. Let's see. We got Shelby says, it was your first time. Shelby, you did fantastic. I appreciate you. Everyone appreciates the volunteers. So thank you. Tyler reached out about me running. Oh, Tyler Wyzak is who reached out about me running tournaments. Yeah, message me. I'm totally into you doing stuff, and I totally like message me, and we'll talk about things we want to do because I'm trying to with Stokely discs and Ching discs. I wear my Ching shirt. I don't have my Stokely disc shirts like over there. It'd kind of be weird if I wore both, but yeah, I'm always trying to promote the discs, and I'm looking for different ideas where we could do our ace race, our ice bowl, our trilogy challenge, our you name it. I mean, any type of things that we can do that gets everybody to try my discs like on a grand scale. I am totally into, and anybody that wants to help with that, I'm totally into as well. Message me. Hey, buddy, Scott Holter says, I'm finally glad you got to go to Laszlo's and got paired up for DDC. What did I order from Carl's? All right, so there's a lot of traditions at Virginia State. Scott Holter is a Virginia guy, and he lives in Colorado now. And so the Virginia State is just filled with tradition. Laszlo's is the kitchen area at the shelter that everybody eats at. And it's just there's no words to describe it. It's not just like it's not just people cooking food. It's this entire experience that's beyond words. And what I ordered from Carl's, I went chocolate milkshake every night. I know it's kind of boring. I didn't drink a milkshake. I got a funny story for y'all. So last year when I finished the tour, I mean, I was sick, and I only played 6 pro tour events last year. I cashed at 2 of them and didn't cash at 4. So it's not like I was, near the bottom. I was kind of like, around the halfway point. So twice I got into the top third or whatever. But I was going to be fighting to get a card, no guarantees, but I was sick. And so because I was sick and I missed a bunch of events, I was definitely not going to get my tour card. So at the end of the season, come fall, all of a sudden, I realized I was eating a lot, which is kind of insane, right? Because I've worked so hard to be in such good shape for the past 3 years because I'm focusing on the pro tour. I'm trying to compete with the best 20-year-olds in the world in my 50s. And so I worked so hard at the gym and with my diet. I was so diligent and very motivated. And so I actually didn't find it that hard to stick with because I was motivated. Well, the second I realized I'm not going to have my tour card for this year, all of a sudden I started eating. And I was like, oh shit, I'm getting fat. Like I'm not fat, but I'm trending, as the kids would say. I'm trending towards obesity. I mean, I might have only put on 10 or 15 extra pounds, but I was heading that way, and I was like, I need to get him. I need to stop because this is not going to end well. A year from now, I'm going to be at really bad shape, and I couldn't stop. Like I couldn't make myself not eat junk food and the food I wanted to eat. Like I tried. I'm like, I can't eat that, but I need ice cream. So I realized I needed something to motivate me to eat better. So I contacted Dieter Johansson, which is one of the top DDC players in the world, and asked him to play DDC with me at Virginia State. And as soon as he said yes. He said he would fly over from Sweden to be my partner. And as soon as he said yes, all of a sudden I could be motivated to eat well. So one of the things I did was for like 2 or 3 months leading up to Virginia State, I said I had no ice cream. I had no ice cream for like the last several months. So then, but my plan was to eat ice cream every night at Carl's, and I succeeded. Such a weird thing, right? You would think that like being healthy and feeling good would be plenty of motivation to like not get fat. Like it seems like that should be enough motivation. Oh, I'm going to live longer, and it wasn't. At least for me, that's apparently that's not enough to make me not eat crappy. So I need something to be motivated. So it was that, and that now I got to go play guts at IFT so I can stay in shape for that, so I can eat good for the next 3 months. But after IFT, I'm going to need something else to be in shape for, or else I'm afraid I'm going to let myself go.
Okay.
Well, I haven't. So I don't right now. As of right now, IFT is the thing that is my motivation, and so yeah. So after IFT, I will name something else that I'm going to be focusing on. But as of right now, I'm just trying to get to the IFT. But it'll work. I got motivation. I just have to have something. It's so weird. You know what I need? You know what I think I need to have happen? I think I need if I don't have any tournaments coming up, I think I need my girlfriend to like break up with me, and I'll be single again. And then I'll be like motivated to like I need a girlfriend, so I'll be motivated to eat better. It could work, right?
Do I get to stay on the payroll?
Would you be willing to leave me just so I could get it like stay in shape?
As long as I stay on the payroll.
No, you don't get to stay on the payroll. If you leave me, you're fired. You don't even get workman's comp or disability or nothing.
No deal.
If you leave me, you get nothing. Nothing. You hear that?
No deal.
If you leave me, you get. Oh, so what? You're gonna stay with me now? Don't you care about my health? Oh, anonymity. That's really fun. Her name is Anonymity. Michelle here got back 25 digitized. Oops. Hold on. Anna says, oh. Wait, where'd it go? Hold on a second. Wait a second. Now I got to scroll back. Michelle here got back 25 digitized videos from 1990 through 2015. Got some good stuff, and I'll let you know I want some organized and figure out how to share them. Yeah, you can message me. I can let you know how to share them and all that stuff. If you need help with something, just do me a favor. Please reach out to me if there's something I can help. I have experience in a lot of these areas. So feel free to consider me a contact if there's something I can help with. Freestyle Frisbee. Okay, so I don't know how to. Oh, there you go. Freestyle Frisbee is judged, Billy says, judged on 3 main categories: difficulty, execution, artistic impression. Yeah, so that, I guess I already had answered that. Peter Luna says, no Down syndrome. Peter Luna says, no Down syndrome, play disc golf. Peter, that's why Peter's rad. Peter is amazing. His mom was really, she actually, it was really funny when, because Peter and I have talked on the phone a few times. Peter's just giving me a call to say hi, to see how I was doing. And we talked on the phone, and remember how his mom was surprised. She's like, Peter, did Peter call you? I'm like, Peter's always welcome. Peter, you are always welcome to call me. Just call me in Facebook, and I'll talk to you anytime you want. And I might be seeing you pretty soon. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell you that, so might be a surprise. Rock Schumann, howdy Scott, looking good, brother. Can't wait to see you crush some guts. Oh, I'm going to crush some guts. I'm going to smash the guts. I can't wait to play guts at the highest level. Howling Wolf says guts sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah, it is a lot of fun if you like discs hitting you. It's so funny. Guts golf is like chess boxing. I've seen chess boxing. Chess boxing is like one of the greatest sports ever. If you all haven't seen chess boxing, just look for it on YouTube. Rock Schumann says, PM. Oh, this is so hard.
The thing about it is like you have to make a lot of decisions really, really fast. So
Right.
that's like what I've noticed about it. That seems like it would be really exciting to watch and to play.
Guts.
Guts.
Yeah, Guts is
kind of the same with DDC, but yeah.
Yeah. So here, I have a question. This is still. Can you tell me how to get rid of this thing here? Like, look at this. Hold on a second.
What's your problem?
I only have this much room to read comments. Absolutely. See, like, you see what I'm saying? And it's like, it's just literally room for one line. And if I try to like move it like this, then it'll like.
Well, you're gonna have to stop using your phone then, because this is just it's a screen limitation.
Well, but it didn't used to be. So is it just new for StreamYard? StreamYard's okay. We'll have to use the computer from now on. That's okay. I don't mind. Next time I'll just log on the computer if there's not an option. All right. So
There's no
see, I can't even like scroll down to see who like wrote it, and then I have to click off. By the way, this is all the stuff on our side. This is like terrible video. You're watching us try to figure out how to use this. So I'm just trying to see when I scroll up, then I got to click to the side. Absolute legend here, folks. Hello, Front Ohio. Hello, hello from Ohio. Well, hello from Ohio back. Let's see. Thanks for all I've done for disc golf. You are very welcome. I do everything I do for disc golf and other disc sports because of everything the sports have done for me. So it is a very symbiotic relationship. If I was just receiving from all those things that disc sports did to me, that would be very one-sided. That would be a parasitic relationship. And I don't want to be a parasite. I was a parasite for my mom when she was pregnant, right? Isn't that right?
That's why she didn't keep you.
That's why, because I'm adopted. So I'm adopted. She said that's why my mom didn't want to keep me, because I'm adopted. That's really funny. David Garv says, thanks for the great answer, Scott. You're welcome. Let's see. Oops, hold on. Now I can't even scroll up and down on that comment. Hold on a second. Wait, I have an idea. Let me try something.
Yeah, I tried.
Did it work better? Let's see if this is better. Oh my God, this is better. Hope you guys can still see me, because now I can see. Oh, what did I order at Laszlo? Thanks. What did I order at Laszlo's? I just ordered a little bit of everything. Let's see what I can do here. I'm going to turn this way, and this way. Hold on a second. I'm figuring something. Go to here. I can add the states. Let's see. All right. Scott Holter, what I order at Laszlo's? I ordered
The mulligatawny stew was really good.
the mulligatawny stew. I ordered
You had
pesto and artichoke and Kalamata olive pizza.
bean burrito.
Bean burritos. I had eggs, and I ate breakfast every morning, although I refuse to eat vegan bacon. I find that an affront to my bacon religion. But other than that, everything was really good. Chris says, hello from Ohio. Hello from back from Ohio. Jeff Thatcher says he has some good ideas. Message me, Jeff. Let's do this. I'm in. Message me. Kelly Ogletree. Hey, brother. Good to see you again. Hello back, brother. Good to see you. Except I can't see you because the screen's so small. But I appreciate it. Billy says, what was your best MTA time and what did you throw? Okay, so MTA, let me explain to everybody the question first. So MTA is a game called Maximum Time Aloft, which is you throw the disc up in the air, the clock starts the second it leaves your hand. The moment the disc, you make contact with it, which is usually going to be a catch, the clock stops. Although if it hits you and you bobble it, the clock stopped when you made first contact. And MTA is a game where I believe, if I'm not mistaken, for 3 U.S. Open or WIFDIF overalls in a row, I believe I had the best MTA time both rounds at all three of those events. I was usually hanging right around 13 seconds really consistently. I'd be like 12.7, 13.1, 12.9, 12.95, 13.1. That would be kind of like what I did back then when I was playing. This time I was throwing a lid. Basically, I was throwing an Ultra Star, which was, I was just trying to make sure I made a catch because at Virginia, you don't have to make 13 seconds to try to make the finals. You need to make 7 seconds to make the catch the first round, and then like 9.5 the second round. So I was throwing an Ultra Star, and I think I was like around 8 or 9 seconds both times. I was not good enough. I think I missed the finals by 1 place at like just over 9 seconds. It was so windy that it was, I didn't have a catch throwing the links, which is what I would be getting a big score with the first 3 rounds. So then I just threw the Ultra Star to make sure because if I get a no catch, I get no points in MTA and I'm out of the overall. So I was still in the overall at this point. So I had to make the catch, even though it wasn't good enough for the finals. It was like 6th place. Anonymity, Michelle Wade. Oh, hi, Michelle. Hello, Michelle Wade. Crunch says, imagine guts between golf holes. Well, yeah, except for the broken fingers. And Peter says, how to eat food. Does that mean you're going to eat food, Peter? If so, we will see you later. And then Ellington DJ Rock. By the way, Peter, if you see your mom, tell your mom hi, and I will reply to her message. So, and then Ellington DJ Crunch Rockman says, mom jokes. Oh, wait, here's some more. Peter Luna says, how eating food? You're eating food. Michelle says, Conrad Damon was an MTB's too. He never sits down, right? Conrad was a very underrated runner too. He was very fast. But there was a period of time where nobody in the world was going to get me an MTA. But the big overall tournaments were self-caught flights. So we did MTA first, and then we did TRC, which is how far you throw the disc and how far you can run before you catch it. And I always floundered at TRC. Unfortunately, TRC was not my strength. So I would finish I'd be first in MTA after MTA, but I'd have like the 12th best TRC, and that would put me in like 5th or 6th. So I would always finish MTA like in around 5th or 6th place, somewhere in there, or 7th or something like that. Not 5th, because that would have made the finals. So I'd be like 6th, 7th, 8th place. But best MTA and like 15th best TRC every year. But MTA I was pretty darn good at. I had a magical links. I also threw farther than anybody. So I threw a 360 full speed and just pretty much could catch. I mean, I could throw 12.5 seconds pretty much all day. But those were the days back in my youth. Ha, Peter. Peter says he's eating food. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Is this screen? Oh, there we go. Peter, look. Oh, Billy says throw, run, and catch, TRC. Exactly. That's where they measure the distance. You throw and run as far as you can. And there are players that could throw and run like 80 or 90 meters and catch a disc. I was never going to be that guy. I was shooting for 50 to 60, but would usually wind up 30 to 40. So would love to see your discs at Played Against Sports in Warren Township, Indiana. Please, John, do me a favor. Just send me a message in social media, and I will call them tomorrow morning, and I'll see about getting them in there. Peter says, my friend Nick to you. Does Nick say hi to me? So if so, please tell Nick I said hi back. I love all you guys. You guys are my favorite disc golf club in the world are the Down Syndrome Disc Buddies in New York. You guys are my absolute favorite disc golf club I've ever got to spend time with. John Ramos says, looking for team players or touring players? I'm 31 and want to tour before I'm too old. Yeah, so basically, I am interested in people. Send me a message in social media, and that's something we can talk about. I'm looking to expand. Like, obviously, I need to be. I have people in mind and people that I'm already about to make announcements for, as far as sponsor players. I'm just, because I'm a small company, I'm so limited on what I'm able to do that I need to like I'm investing in a few players that I because we got to invest in somebody, but I just can't do that much. So I think that aside from those several players, most of the people are going to have to get on board with the idea. Hey, I'm going to get in. I'm going to be part of something that's new, and then this can grow into something. But there's not going to be a whole lot I can do. Now, I can tell you this though: the most important thing for me at this point is to get into stores and be selling discs, right? So if there's things you can do promotionally, whether it's be running events or talking to shops in your town or stuff like that, that is so valuable to me. If you're willing to do things that are a little bit more on the work side, we can figure out how to make that work, because that's I almost said uber important, like it's what 1997 or something like that. It's very important though. So, anyways, that's kind of the plan of attack there. But yeah, John, I mean, this is like one of the things that I can offer, because I'm a small company. I can't offer, like, I can't pay what another company can pay. Even just the token gestures of like everybody on the B team gets 500 discs and 5 entry fees paid. I mean, that's so far beyond what I can do because the company's brand new. But I can offer things maybe some of the other companies can't. And one of the big things is the business of disc golf, and the business side is something that I can help teach and mentor in and bring people along with, who want to be involved in the business of disc golf. I can be a part of that, and the company can be a part of things you're looking to do, or we can create things for you to do. So that goes for anybody. If you're interested, by all means, feel free to reach out, and I'm up for business ideas for sure. By the way, if anybody's interested, if you're listening, I have I just announced 20 upcoming Stokely Method seminars, and I think there's 3 or 4 additional ones. My method of teaching being taught by Tyler Wozniak all over the eastern, I would say third of the U.S. Like eastern, not the eastern third of the U.S. that isn't New England, but north of the Carolinas. You go to scottstokely.net and there's information. But all of these cap at 6 players, they all sell out, right? All these, every seminar I does sells out. So if you're interested in coming, if you want to get better at disc golf, you'll have an amazing experience. I believe I'm the best in the world at teaching disc golf. And so come to a seminar, you'll leave playing better. Yeah, you'll have fun, but more important, you'll throw farther and you'll have a sidearm and you'll be making putts and playing better. Anyways, go to scottstokely.net for a schedule, but definitely get signed up. Questions. Let's see. Peter says, question, Scott. Can you tell me if Scott Stokely's disc golf tournament? Peter, are you asking if I'm going to be playing a tournament? Because I am going to be playing tournaments. I'm going to play a tournament in Michigan, and I'm going to play a tournament. Some other ones I haven't announced yet. But I will be playing tournaments all over. So I will be playing. I just played a tournament last weekend in Virginia. So I'm definitely going to be playing some tournaments. I'm also trying to decide if I'm going to the PDGA World Championships this year. Have we decided yet?
No.
I mean, not we. It's not me. I mean, it's my decision. I'm saying that, but I look over at my girlfriend. I'm like, have we decided yet? Like, it's as if it's like our decision. Obviously, it's my decision, and so so she looks back. She goes, "No, you haven't told me if we're going." But I'm leaning towards going to the PDGA World Championships because I got an actual invitation based on how I've done on the field of play and my rating and all that. And I don't know how many more of those I'm going to get. I'm 55 years old. There's nobody else 55 years old getting an invitation to the World Championships, I don't think. Unless it's like a sponsorship exemption. And so, like, I don't know if, I mean, this might be my last chance to go to a World Championships as an invited player. So, God, not going would mean maybe passing up on my last opportunity, which is kind of hard to stomach. So we'll see. Hey, does anybody, I got a question. Does anybody have any questions unrelated to disc golf? One of the things I'm looking forward to doing as I age, because I love teaching disc golf, don't get me wrong, but I think I figured this whole life thing out. Strange as that sounds. I think I actually got life figured out. I think I'm winning at life, business and relationships and career and health and I only say all these things because like every one of those things I've had my ups and downs with. So it's not like I'm like, ooh, I'm so great. It's like, no, I've sucked at all of those things at different periods of my life. So I'm very humble when I say this, but I just think that I've worked really hard to get all these things figured out. And I would love to share other things about life other than just here's how you throw farther, because I do think I have things to teach. So I think if anybody has any questions about anything else, feel free to shoot them over. Let's see. Anonymity says, going back to viewing videos, so we'll be in touch about sharing them in memories. Say hi to Adriana. Good night, all. Good night, Michelle. And then Antonio says, you're the best, Scott. Okay, let me tell you something, Antonio. My favorite people in the entire world are the people that think I'm the best. Has anybody ever noticed that? Has anybody ever noticed that the people that compliment them we seem to like the most? Isn't that weird? I know that can't just be me. No, I do appreciate that. Like I said, I'm very like objective and humble in my opinion. So I think I think very highly of myself in the things that I've achieved, especially the things I've worked hard for. I'm very proud of them. I think very highly of myself in these areas. But like I said, it comes with the humility of knowing that I've failed at many of these things at various points in my life also. So and I'm also aware that I'm vulnerable to failing at any of them in the future also. I don't think I'm going to, but like life throws curveballs. Life doesn't give a shit what your plans are sometimes. Life just does what it does. So, I humbly think I know what I'm talking about, but I'm also still learning every day. Jerry Mungo says, are you considering retiring to New Zealand? We would love to have you become a Kiwi. Okay, so here's the problem. I'm never going to retire. I will never have a home. So if anybody doesn't, I mean, not that I expect all of you to follow me so closely. So some of you might not know this, but about 5.5 years ago, I took every single thing I owned effectively that wouldn't fit into a backpack, and I gave it away or threw it away. Now it's a little bit metaphorical because some of these things didn't all happen that day. Like, things disappeared over time. But basically, I began the process of getting rid of everything, and my girlfriend also has gotten rid of everything that wouldn't fit into a backpack. So as I travel now, or we travel, I should say, we got the Stokely Tour van, but that's filled with discs and shirts and merchandise, golf bag, things like that. It's all business stuff. If you take away the business stuff, neither one of us own a single thing in this entire world we cannot fit into 2 backpacks. We don't have a storage unit somewhere. We don't have a box of stuff at our parents' house. Nothing. We got 2 backpacks full of stuff, and that's everything we own. Because we're not going to retire. We are going to stay on the road as full-time nomads until, well, I can say this, I'm going to be on the road as a full-time nomad until I fall over. I'm never going to land. I'm never going to have a home somewhere. Never going to do it. I know when I get older, I might slow my pace down, but just my entire life, because I've spent a lot of years touring, a lot of years traveling, my entire life, I have never been happy, fully happy in a home. And the only way I can describe this is that most people, when they're traveling, can't wait to get back to their own bed, because as much fun as they can have traveling, having that home base is what just makes them feel right. And I just feel the same way, but just in reverse. So for me, I can have all the fun in the world. I had a great time being home raising my daughter, and I had some incredible experiences, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. I've never been happy in a place. So I will come back to New Zealand. New Zealand's amazing, but you can't talk me into living anywhere. Never going to happen. Let's see. John says, I'm 31 and in college, and after college, I'll be homeless. So I'm trying to follow my dreams of being in disc golf and selling discs online. John, John says, that's why I reached out to you. I love what you do. Your discs are super clean designs, and it's nature-oriented names and stuff. Yeah, John, that like the whole idea. Here's the thing about disc golf. I'm going to tell you something, and I will tell you something, John, but this can apply to anybody that's interested in the business of disc golf. Disc golf, it's hard to say, but it's somewhere in the ballpark of a $500 million industry. There's about $500 million that trades hands every year in the disc golf business. When you have an industry that size, there is room for a lot of people to carve out their niche. And that means if you have a small piece of land and a little shack and a private course, and you charge $6 a round with, $50 annual memberships, and you sell golf discs and drinks at the pro shop, you can make a nice life for yourself. You don't have to have a big disc company to get wealthy. You don't have to be a touring pro with $1 million contract. And I'm not saying not to try to achieve these things, or that these can't be goals, or that if that's what you want to do, you shouldn't go after. I'm not saying that. But I think a lot of people have this idea that those are the ways you make money in the sport, and that it's like some kind of pipe dream, because it's like going to Hollywood trying to become a movie star. Like, and this is like the best analogy, like only a few people become movie stars or famous directors, but tens of thousands of people make a nice living in the film industry, doing what they love in the medium and the art they want to work with. So that's the thing about being in the disc golf business, is that you could be the movie star, which is the Gannon Burr or the End of a Champion Discs, but you don't have to be to have a great life doing something you love. You can carve out a niche for yourself so many different ways, and have that nice 6-figure income doing something you like. So that's obtainable for anybody. And it can happen in 6 months worth of work. I mean, it's going to be your career. You got to dedicate your life to it, but there's room for a lot of people to make money, and that's what would love to help people with. Adventure Space Film. By the way, I like the name. Can you come to Alberta and teach you to throw farther? I'll buy you a steak sandwich and fries. So I'll give you two answers. I would love to come to Alberta to teach you to teach you to throw farther. However, it's going to cost a lot more than a steak sandwich and fries, because I charge a pretty penny, because this is my life's work. But I am good at what I do. So you could, if I do a full day seminar, you can come to a full day seminar, or take my online class, and then you can still buy me a steak sandwich and fries when you throw farther. By the way, Adventure Space Film, do you make movies? Because I'm kind of getting involved into some projects, and I have a disc golf film project that's kind of on my radar that I'm interested in doing. If you know anybody that wants to be a filmmaker. Billy Ashton says, are you coming to Minnesota to play PDJ Masters Worlds? Honestly, no, I'm not. I don't really have. No, I'm not coming to Minnesota to play Masters Worlds, but I am contemplating going to Pro Worlds in Finland. That's the one on my radar. That's the one I want to try to win. And go ahead and tell me that 1,003 rated player can't win Pro Worlds. Go ahead and give me a chance to prove everybody wrong. I like proving people wrong, or at least trying. But no, I'm still trying. I'm an MPO player. I'm still trying to win MPO Worlds. If I go to Worlds, it'll be that. Or I won't go. John Ramos says, I'm picking up what you're putting down. Dana Hillebrand. Hi, Scott. Is there any way to ask a question at another time? Dana, you can message me direct on Facebook.
Join Discord.
Or you can join the Discord and post it to Discord. Yeah, that's right. Oh, by the way, everybody, I do a lot of stuff. Thank you for reminding me. I do a lot of stuff on my Discord server, scottstokely.net/Discord. That is where that's kind of like a little bit of the inner circle where I'm going to be releasing the new releases to. I'm going to be making announcements. I do everything in there from like every 2 weeks we talk about mental health and physical health and recovery and depression and happiness and things like that. That's free for the people on my Discord server. You're also the first to be notified when I have announcements about classes and seminars and things like that. So join my Discord server, scottstokely.net/Discord. Thank you for reminding me. That's why I keep you around. I'll keep you on the payroll for 3 more days. Does that sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. But you need to do something cool in 3 days. You got to keep producing, or else I'm going to fire you. Yeah, Dana, please don't. You can message me. You can message me directly on Facebook, but also you can message. You can post to Discord. You can't message me direct there, but you can also message me direct in social. And please feel free to. John says, my end all be alls have a private course for players. That is within, like, that is so totally within your range. Like, it's not a small project, but that's not a impossible project. And if you have a piece of land in the right financial situation, meaning it's affordable and you're not going to get like screwed over because of, like, be really careful with things like the tax implications, and like there's so many weird things about how stuff is zoned and how you have to pay taxes on. I mean, it's like you could get really screwed over by the local or state government when it comes to things like this. Whereas you could have a piece of land where disc golf, it's unaffordable because of how much it costs you, not for the land, but to like just the taxes on it. So do your research, but you can find situations, if you're willing, especially if you're willing to move, where you can get a nice piece of land pretty reasonable, and you don't got to run a lot of players through there to make a living. So Venture Space Film, she says you do actually, if you're interested in doing something, message me, because I'm down with Adventure Space Film. Antonio says, what do you think about the intersection of disc golf and physical therapy and rehabilitation? Seems like an untapped market or a viable way to get people unfamiliar with the game outside. Yeah, I think it absolutely is great for rehabilitation. Physical therapy, I mean, it hard. I mean, it obviously depends on what your body can do, but I think the general consensus is just you need to be active and moving. Being sedentary is just about the worst thing you can do for your body, with the exception of putting crap in it, whether it's like, fattening foods or drugs or alcohol or, whatever. But aside from the stuff you put in your body, I don't think there's anything worse for your body than being sedentary long-term. Maybe pro wrestling, but aside from pro wrestling. So I think just moving and being active is going to benefit almost everybody. But there's such a mental aspect to disc golf that is special about our game. Like everybody, anybody like on this feed right now or watching, you probably know people that have said, if you've been playing disc golf for any length of time, they say they played disc golf because of their PTSD. They play disc golf because it keeps them sober. They play disc golf because it helps them deal with their depression. Like, you hear that all the time in disc golf, and you never, like, I can't think of any other sports like that. Like I've never heard anybody say they play tennis for their PTSD or they shoot pool to stay sober. I mean, I'm sure some people do, right? Because they found a hobby that gives them focus or whatever. But in our sport, it's normal. It's normal for it to be an aspect of people's mental health. And I don't know if it's just because we're outside, like that's obviously good for you. If it's because exercise is good for you, or it's because our community of people is so good. But there's something special about our sport that is good for our brains. Like, like in a way that I don't think many other sports could compare to. Maybe fishing. Fishing might be one that's like people would say is great for their mental health in the same type of way as disc golf. But I can't think of many sports like that. So I think that I think it is still untapped what disc golf can do for people. I think it's a great point, Antonio. Austin says, thank you for documenting Virginia State's tournament. I grew up around the area of Spotsy and Fredericksburg. Has a rich history of do-it-yourself tournaments, including Too Many Days in May, VTI, etc. Yeah, it's a special place. Virginia has a rich history of Frisbee. Like there were, in the early days, there were hot spots. Southern California was notable, but there were just little hot spots that popped up around where Frisbee was played, and Virginia was one of them. And it is a special place. Antonio says, and to combine work with our hobbies and passions. Yeah, if you can combine, I mean, I can speak from experience. So combining disc golf with your hobbies and I can speak from experience that if you can combine your career with something you love, like it removes some of the joy of the activity. Everybody says when your hobby becomes your job, the hobby becomes less fun. That's true. But what you lose in the hobby becoming less fun, you gain back tenfold in your work becoming more fun. So there's a trade-off. Like you don't get to keep the hobby at the level the hobby was as far as just the pure joy of playing. It changes when it's your job. Everybody will tell you that, and it's true. But if given the choice of like not losing that part of the enjoyment of the game, but then I have to go hang drywall 50 hours a week or mow lawns or wait tables or whatever it is I'd be doing, selling software, I wouldn't trade it for the world, because you spend more time at your job than you do your hobby. If you can find a way to like your job, boy, that's a freaking win at life. Antonio says, I've heard golf described as man versus man, man versus himself, and man versus nature. I love all those aspects. I've never heard that expression before, but I think it's great. I think that actually makes a lot of sense. I mean, the thing about golf, just the game of golf in general, is you could have 10 people that play golf for 10 totally different reasons and all love it just the same. There's not some universal thing. Jonathan says, can I help you train an AI model on proper disc golf mechanics? Reach out to me on my Discord server. You can reach out to me in social if you want to message me direct, but contact me in my Discord server. I mean, I use AI every day in my business. As strange as that sounds, because what I do for a living, every day is an exaggeration, but I use it frequently for the projects I work on, and so I get all the different applications of it. I think there's some inherent problems with using it for disc golf, personally, because of just certain aspects that I think are just difficult. It would be a very long explanation to do publicly. I think it would bore the heck out of people. So, but you can reach out to me. I'm interested in almost any project and just hearing. I'm happy to hear what you have to say for sure. So, I'm open to different ideas. All right, you guys. So, if anybody has any other questions about anything, I can't believe no one wants relationship advice. I'm an expert at relationships. Would you say I'm an expert at relationships, Adriana?
Works for me.
Does it work for you? I've had so many 6-month and 1-year relationships, and actually a whole ton of 1-day relationships. I'm pretty much a kind of a pro. I don't want to brag or anything, but if you haven't, I've had so many relationships, I'm kind of an expert. It's kind of ridiculous, right? Are there any Ching molds coming, Antonio? Of course there are. I'm about to announce the next Ching mold coming really soon, And when I say really soon, I mean they've been run. And we're just getting ready to announce them all. Hey, if anybody's listening, I got one more thing for y'all. If your store in town does not carry Stokely discs, have them reach out to me. Have them message me direct, and I would be happy to give them a call and talk to them. I got a bunch of, I call them Pro Shop starter sets. And Pro Shop starter sets are basically I've put together packets of like 25, 36, or 53 discs at the approximate ratio people are buying Stokely discs and Ching discs. So the store doesn't even have to figure out, do people like owls more than larks, or how well the juju's doing. We've already ratioed them for you, and I don't have tiered pricing, which means you can buy the 25 discs and pay the exact same price as if you paid 1,000. So there's no pressure to buy more discs than you need. My discs are selling well. I'm in like 250 stores already, and they're doing fine. I just want to get into all the stores, because when I'm in all the stores, every store goes, hey, wow, these are actually selling. That's cool. I'll buy more, right? So no pressure to like place a big order. Just, tell the stores to reach out to me, and let's talk about getting a small order in their stores to give us a try, and we'll show you how it's going to work. It's kind of cool. Let's see. Jared says, can't wait to see you next Friday. Let's go. Oh, that's got to be Jared next Friday. Is that the Jared? Did you win the Paul Macbeth Foundation auction? Antonio says, you're such a wonderful ambassador of the sport. I'm ready to hit the hay too. Thanks for everything. Like I said, I only do as much for the sport as the sport does for me, and the sport does everything for me. Kelly says, hey, Scott. Jared. Oh, Jared. Okay, so Kelly, I'll get back to you in a sec. So Jared, I cannot wait. Jared and his crew made a big bid we're gonna do a class and play some golf together. They paid a bunch of money for it, but the money all went to the Paul Macbeth Foundation to bring disc golf to developing countries around the world. It hasn't all been developing countries, but to a large extent, that's what they're doing. Anyways, I'm happy. I can't wait to see you guys either. Kelly says, hey, Scott, are you sick of hotel rooms yet, or do you split it between staying with different people on the road? In the last 5.5 years, we've stayed with
6 people.
6 people in 5.5 years. So, no, I am definitely not sick of hotels. Me and my girl actually really enjoy our privacy. I enjoy not washing sheets or towels. That's kind of fun. I enjoy having a buffet breakfast waiting for me every morning. That's kind of nice, because she ain't gonna cook. Actually, wait. When I was at your house, you cooked every morning, didn't you? She cooked every morning. So technically, you before we hit the road, you cooked every day for me. But we like our privacy. We're still a young couple in the 5.5-year honeymoon phase of the relationship, right?
Yeah, it's funny how that not having kids thing doesn't
Yeah, I know. No, so anyways, no, I'm not. So here's the thing. I'll let you guys in on a secret about me, if anybody was wondering. I call myself a professional extrovert, because I'm running my business. I have all my agenda, the stuff I'm trying to promote, other disc sports, disc golf in developing countries, people with special needs, and I'm trying to build my brand so I could have a career, so I could travel the world and do all the stuff I want to do, and everything I need to do. All of it requires me to be extroverted. And I've gotten really good at being an extrovert, not just online, but also when I'm in public. But the reality is, I'm actually more of an introvert than an extrovert. And so when I turn this phone off, or when I leave a tournament or a seminar, like, my battery just drains out of my body, and then I just need to be alone. And by alone, I mean me and her together. I shut everybody out. I just unplug, and I have to be to have that time. So actually, my happy place outside of my disc golf Frisbee world is I like to be backpacking in the mountains, in the desert, but not like campgrounds, not where there's people, but like I like getting way into the backcountry. I like disappearing for days or weeks in the wilderness. I still do that. I will do that for the rest of my life, because when I can disappear from the world completely, just me and her, that's kind of like where my brain most wants to be. But I can't be in that brain space all the time because I'm also running the business, which requires me to not be that person. There's no introverts who are successful with a business that requires social media like that. There's zero of those. So I enjoy everybody, and I enjoy that. I enjoy all the time I spend with everybody. It's not that I don't like it, but when it's over, I need to be like just me and her. That's my quiet time. At least that's how my brain recharges. That's me, anyways. Way more information than you were probably looking for. Jared says, I heard about the auction after Paul Macbeth opened a new course in Long Island by you. I was like, hell yeah. And he said, Jared says he took his clinic last year. My putting had been a huge turnaround thanks to you. Well, you are so welcome. No, I appreciate that. I'm a fan. I mean, I like Paul. I think Paul's a good guy, and I think the Paul Macbeth Foundation does a good job introducing sports to these places. I mean, there's other things we can do, and that we are going to be a part of taking this whole thing to a whole nother level. But the role that the Paul Macbeth Foundation has done in spreading disc golf around the world has been second to none. I cannot speak any more highly. I think they do a good job. I think they're good people who have nothing but the best intentions for the sport. Like, I really think that they're driven by very good motives, and I'm a fan. I'm a fan of what Paul does. So when the Paul Macbeth Foundation asked me if I would auction myself off, actually, here's what I said. They said, "Can we auction you off to raise money for the Paul Macbeth Foundation?" And I said, yes, but I only want really cute girls to be able to bid on me. And they said, no, Scott, we can't do that. I thought it over. I was like, well, okay, fine, I'll do it anyways. Right? Didn't I say that? Mm-hmm. That's what I said, right? Oh, she said she wasn't listening. Well, how am I going to mess with you if you won't listen? I said that when the Paul Macbeth Foundation tried to auction me off, I said yes, but I only accept bids from cute girls. Right? I might have said that, or I might have said it to you.
You might have.
I probably did. Anyways, no, it's exactly something I would say. But anyways, the point is that I love Paul Macbeth and his foundation, so I will support them any way I can. So, all right, you guys, thank you all. We will talk to you soon again, everybody. And I think I'm coming on here every Wednesday and just chatting with everybody, talking disc golf, talking disc sports. Because why not? I got to be able to connect with my friends somehow, and I can't get to all the places I want to get to. Andy, we got one thing. Andy says, I have a local shop not carrying, at least not online, in Iowa. Been waiting to say something, but Titanum, I met Schlabach, most famously Gannon's caddy that looks at the camera. Yeah, no, for sure. You have a wait. Well, let me think. Andy, you said you have a local shop not carrying, at least not online in Iowa. So do you have a local shop, Andy? Like, is it your store? Because if so, we need to talk very badly. If you have a shop and I'm not in your store, then you're like the last one, because, well, not really the last one, but cute girls only. I have a Taylor Swift wig. Sometimes I'll wear it for you. Jarrett, if you wore that Taylor Swift, oh no, Matt's store. I gotcha. Yeah, no, for sure. Just like let them know. I mean, I know Titan. Titan does a great job with social media, and would love to be in Titan discs. That they're one of the biggest, only like bigger stores that don't carry my discs, because I'm in like 250. It might even be almost 300 stores now. And there's not that many pro shops out there, and I'm in like a large percentage of them. So Titan's one of the last ones to get on board. No, I know, I'm familiar with Titan. It's Cedar Rapids in Des Moines. So yeah, tell them, They tell them that you will buy discs, my discs from them if they carry them. That's what they need to hear, and I'll reach out to them again. All right, so cool, you guys. Thanks, and we'll talk soon. We'll talk next week. All right, see y'all.